Don't get me excited right now.
Hey guys, thank you for coming out to the rally. I hope y'all enjoyed the food that you ate, and it feels so great to kick off early voting here with friends and family. And it's exciting, man. It's been a lot of work. We started this off back in July, I think, and we've been going strong. And this is what it's all for. All the events, the rallies, the meet and greets, the block walks, the phone calls, the text messages. This is what it boils down to, folks. At the end of the day, it's about who can get their people out to vote. And we thank you for joining us today. First day of early vote. Historically has always kind of determined how it will go, for the rest of the couple of weeks. We've got beautiful weather, so that's not an excuse. And we're glad to be here. And it cannot stop here. If you've already voted, I'm pretty sure some of you folks have already voted, or you're going to go vote right now. It cannot stop here. And it cannot end with this taco. That taco was not free. That taco was going to cost you some phone calls. You need to text people. Hey, I already voted. Have you? People that you would normally not think would go out and vote. That's the people. We're hitting people in the van that always vote. You need to hit people that don't normally vote. Your neighbors, your primos, your cousins, whoever. Your wife. Make sure, your wife. Make sure they get out and vote. So we're here. We want to thank all the candidates. I see Terry. I see Frank. Mr. Craig over here, who's from the island, is joining us from the Island Democrats. We've got folks here from the Costa Bend Tejano Democrats. Where's our one of our fearless leaders there joining us? So thank you for being with us. Of course, former Congressman Salomon Ortiz is here with us. It's been great to have him back out. I tell you what, one of the best things about this campaign is having Salomon out with us again. And man, he's starting to like it, man. Let's see if we can carve out a congressional district for him. But in all seriousness, folks, for those who have been around this game for a long time, that grew up with like Salomon's campaigns, Nancy, our president from AFT is here as well. But Nancy, you've seen it. Yeah. Right here at the Huerta building is where the fun was, man. We always had fun rallies right here. Yeah. Big rallies, big bands, big everything. And this was like part of the heart of the Democratic Party, and that's one of the things when Sally and I talked was that's what we wanted to bring back was all of that stuff. And if you were ever at the Huerta building at one of the rallies, there was you'll see all the people. You would see our friends like Susie Luna Saldana there as well, who were, leading the charge and leading the effort to get out and vote. So with all of that said, I want to introduce the folks that you're here to see. You're here to taste my cooking, but you're here to hear Sally and Roland speak. So I'll pass it on to Sally and he'll introduce Roland. Sally. Woo!
Thank you so much for being here. First of all, Joe, thanks for the great cooking. The tacos were delicious. I was partial to the chicken ones. The chicken ones were very tasty. But seriously, it's so great to be here at the Huerta Law Building. Just like Joseph was saying, this was the place to be in the 90s and the 2000s, the center of the kind of Corpus political universe would be here. The rallies would be here. The pachangas would be here. The music, the band, the energy. And that's why we're excited to be back here, to restart that energy, that momentum that we had back in those days, and carry that all the way through the election, folks. This election, at the end of the day, it matters on you, on everybody here. We can have all the rallies, all the pachangas, all the endorsements, but if you don't go out and vote, if you don't take your neighbor to vote, if you don't take your loved ones to vote, none of that matters, folks. There's so much at stake in the state of Texas and in the Coastal Bend, whether it's the lack of proper funding for public education, which Nancy can tell us all day long about it, whether it's the assault on women's health care rights, the list goes on and on, whether it's the corruption of Ken Paxton, whether it's what's happening with Governor Abbott and Dan Patrick, the lieutenant governor. We have seen what their policies do to us, the citizens of Texas, extremely bad policies that impact every single one of us, from your kids to your parents to your grandparents. The only way that's going to change, folks, is if you go vote. And we're fortunate that we have one of my dear friends who I was fortunate to serve with in the state house. Now he graduated and became a state senator, you know, and then soon he's going to become a U.S. senator. So he keeps on moving up. He keeps on moving up, you know. And so Roland has been a friend of mine for years. You know, it's been probably 10 years or so. And I'm just so fortunate to call him a friend. You know, I'm excited about his campaign. Many of y'all here have heard him speak. He's got an amazing energy, an amazing message. And, you know, he's just really got that genuineness that you see and feel when he speaks. And so with that said, I'd like to introduce to y'all my dear friend, State Senator Roland Gutierrez.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Sally.
He ate too many tacos.
I got sidetracked there a little bit. Joseph, we got to thank you for that great food. Congressman, thank you for having me. Judge Barbara Canales. Everywhere I go, I tell her there's the next lieutenant governor right there. I promise you, it's going to happen. We're going to make it happen. Muchas gracias todos. It's so amazing to be here in Corpus Christi on the first day of early voting. And so many people have asked me why, and I'll tell you why. I've got tell you a little something that's not part of the speech. My abuelita chica, she lived on a street called Hiawatha. Yeah. Hiawatha. She lived here. She was from Freer. And I've got my Signs and Canales family in the back, my long-lost cousins. Thank you for coming. Well, my mother died when I was 9 months old. And so I was just a baby, and I don't remember. She was from Freer, Texas. Y'all remember Judge Benito Canales? Okay, they were cousins, right? Okay. And, you know, my mother's family was amazing. I just never got a chance to really get to know them over the years because I was so young when she passed on. But my father, he remarried, and we had like a little Mexican Brady Bunch. She had 2 kids. She had 2 kids of her own. But I am so fond of coming to Corpus. My childhood, coming to visit my abuelita a few times a year was always special. And so with that, we're here on opening day. We're on opening day. And whether it's, you know, 30 people in a room or 300 people in a room, we're energizing Texas about what needs to happen and what we need to do. And what we need to do in November is beat Ted Cruz, right? Yeah. Well, maybe. We're going to make it happen permanently.
Yes.
But I got to tell you, for me, we've got to change what's happening in this state. We've got to change what's happening in this country. For those of you that don't know me, I'm from San Antonio. My district spans from San Antonio all the way to West Texas, all the way to Big Bend National Park. And in the middle of that, I've got a little town called Uvalde, Texas, that I represent. And quite honestly, May 24th, 2022 changed my life forever. It changed my worldview. And every night that I went home and went out to Uvalde and came home the next day, I would kiss my children and send them off to school. And sending my kids off to school ever since then has never been the same. And I don't think that it's ever been the same for many of us parents. But I want to change my comments a little bit today because we're in here with a room full of Latinos. And I want you to understand that this Republican Party doesn't give a damn about Hispanics.
That's right.
And they don't give a damn about what they're doing to our people. And they don't give a damn about what they're doing to working class people.
That's right.
And they don't give a damn what they're doing to anybody. They don't even give a damn what they're doing to poor white Democrats. The fact is they have no place in their worldview for us. And so when you see a young Latino that's working in the oil patch that think he made it, you need to tell him, oye, mijo, you haven't figured this out yet. You're still young. But this party, this Democratic Party, is the one that's giving you the jobs, the one that's giving you the Social Security, the one that's giving you the benefits that allow you to be here and thrive in this country. And this Republican Party, let's see what they've done. They've given us the loose Republican gun laws that allow somebody to walk down that street right there with an AR-15 strapped to their shoulder, and there's not anything that a cop can do about it. You see, I saw what happened in Uvalde. I sued the government to get the information to see what happened. And I've seen every one of those kids dead. I signed a non-disclosure agreement. I've got all of the details, and I've seen every bit of video footage. And the fact is, I needed to see it because I needed to see the failure. And over and over and over again, of all the lies from DPS and all the misinformation that you heard, all of it, over and over on body cams, cops were saying there's an AR-15, there's an AR-15, there's an assault rifle in there. You see that assault rifle? It kept them from doing their jobs. They were afraid of that gun. Within 20 minutes, they knew kids were alive in there. And they waited another 57 minutes to go save them. Imagine that. Imagine how many kids died during that period of time. So as your next state Senate candidate, look, I own lots of guns. I get it. This is our culture. This is how we grew up. But I don't own an AR-15, and I don't need one. We need to be talking about common sense gun safety solutions in this country. We absolutely need to do that. Extreme risk protective orders and universal background checks. We need to stop the attack on women's reproductive rights in this country. We need Medicare for all that want it. Because, let's face it, we all deserve the same kind of health care that Ted Cruz gets, right? Absolutely we do. And the fact is, everything that makes sense, they don't want to do it because they want to keep us down where we are. For 30 years, Republicans have controlled this state. They've controlled our schools. They've controlled our health care. And look where we are in those areas. And yet, the one thing that we hear from them every night on TV is que ahí vienen los inmigrantes are coming to kill us all. They're coming to take our women and take our jobs. You hear it every night. And yet we saw 2 weeks ago that they don't even want to fix that problem. And so we have so many things that are wrong in this country. And we have to push back, and we have to educate young Latinos and young Latinas that are not voting. And we have to wake up because this is our time. This is our time to take our state back and our time to take our country back. And we need to have a real discussion about this with young people because they're not moving in the right direction. They're not moving in the right direction. And so here's what I've told you what some of the problems are and what some of the fixes are, for sure. But here's what we need to do. The 30 of you that are here today, I know you're all going to vote. And like Sally said, you're going to call all your friends and all your family to go vote. Right? But those are the ones that vote. I need each and every one of you. We owe a debt of gratitude to a guy named Beto O'Rourke. Woo! He got us within 2.5 points, right? Because he inspired our frustrations. He showed us what's wrong. He showed us what they're doing to us. And the only way we're going to change it is by voting. For every group of 30 or 300 that I go to, there's 500,000 Democrats that vote all the time. Here's your job. It's not to call your primo or your prima that you know votes. You got to do that too. But your job is this, and this is not going to be easy. It's going to sound easy. You've got to find some new young kid or some new young girl or some 40-year-old neighbor that doesn't vote. And you got to tell them, oye, tienes que votar. You have to vote because we're in the fight for our lives. Because if Trump gets in, we're in trouble. Because the future for this country is not good. It's not good with Trump and Cruz. And we can't have those kinds of people. And so if this person, you know what they tell you all the time, oh, my vote doesn't count and my vote doesn't matter. Nothing that a politician's going to do is going to affect my life. I want you to tell them something. First off, if they're your kids, you just take their phone away, and I promise you they'll go vote. Don't want their phone back. It works in my house. But here's the thing. When you get them finally, when you get them over there to the ballot box, and they tell you again, my vote doesn't count, and my vote doesn't matter, and nothing that a politician is going to do is going to affect my life, you need to tell them this. Because you didn't vote, and because you didn't participate, 19 little kids and 2 teachers died. That's heavy stuff. It's a heavy burden, right? But that's what this election is about. It's about those dead kids. It's about the pain that their parents are going through today. My friends in Uvalde, the only thing that they have to look forward to is a duller sense of pain. Imagine that void of losing your child. I'd be the strongest people I know. I'd be locked up in my bedroom with the curtains closed. I couldn't move. I'd be on some sort of drug because I couldn't move without my little baby girls. I couldn't. It's about the pain of a young woman that's just trying to get some reproductive decisions made with her and her doctor. It's about the pain of just trying to make ends meet. Just going to the grocery store sometimes. It's about the pain of having to pay your out-of-pocket health care costs. Your mortgage, your rent, your car payment, the gas. Anything, you name it. You know how hard this struggle is. And yet, this idea that these guys are going to come down and save us, come on. These Republicans have done nothing for us, nothing ever. Because the only thing they care about is a goddamn dollar.
That's right.
It's the only thing they care about. They don't care about us. And so that's why this is really heavy stuff. It is about the pain of those families, the pain of this young lady, the pain of everyone that's just trying to make it, or just some kid that's trying to go to college. All of it. And so we're going to do this together. We're going to do this by electing this man as your next state representative so he can fight back in Austin. We're going to do that by making sure that he fights back. We're going to do it by electing wonderful women like Barbara to make sure that she changes everything that's happening in this country. And we're going to do it, God willing, si Dios quiere, I will be your next United States Senator in November. I thank you all for giving me this chance and this opportunity to be here. It was really important that I be in Corpus Christi. My name is Roland Gutierrez, and I want to be your next United States Senator. Thank you so much. We're going to make sure that we get 1,000 votes in the candidate. I promise.
Amen.
Thank you all very much.
Real quick, Roland, thank you so much. Our county judge is here, Barbara Canales, who, if you'd like to say a few words, many of you may or may not know, Barbara's grandmother just passed away. She lived to 100 years old. So she lived a long, amazing life. Barbara, if you'd like to say a few words, I know.
I'll keep it brief because I know we want to go to the courthouse to vote. But I do want to, I wasn't going to say it, but since you made that introduction, I have to tell you, do you remember in 2018 when my grandmother, my abuelita, I thought the best commercial we had all season was hers. And she said, I'm 90, I think she was 98 at the time. She said, I'm 98 years old, and Barbara is the best experienced for the job, and I love her. It was simple. And our message today, thinking of her, is the same. This man here is the most experienced for the job. Both of these men. And we love them. We love them enough to make sacrifices. You know, all the way down Shoreline to get to this, what the law firm, the place where we've had so many political events, so many important movements have happened right down here, all the marchas on leopard. I was looking at the signs of the others. Honesty, integrity, experience. No, it's not. No, they lie. They lie to get what they want. Integrity, they have none with us. None. Because when you do it their way, they leave us behind. And experience, that's not the kind of experience I want for my family or for yours. So they have very different races. They really do. One being very statewide. I think the Hispanic Latino vote's going to come through for Roland Gutierrez. I do. But I think whether you're rural or urban, his message resonates. It does. Because it's focused on families. And if there is one common bond with all Tejanos, and I say that lovingly, Hispanic and non-Hispanic. You know, we're Tejanos, right? We were our own before we were part of this great nation. So we have this history together. And what binds us is our love of family. And that's what he's fighting for every single day. So you tell that to your neighbors and friends. Do we have a lot of important races? Yes, we do. But our vote matters. If we lose the United States Senate, we've really lost everything. It's holding us together. And this man can work together with our other electeds to really make certain that our country holds true to its values. Solly's race is definitely more localized. And I worry because there are a lot of us that are just good Democrats, right? And we have family members that are good Democrats. And they say, well, they're both good men. They both are going to represent us well. Really? Because I haven't seen that. And I would know. Because that courthouse was your home with me in trust for 4 years. And during those 4 years, what I saw his opponent do was take public health care away from the county, away from the very people that he's going to represent in Agualusa and in Banquete and in Robstown and Petronila. How dare they? And that opponent, when faced with important federal dollars from HUD, he voted against the county receiving those drainage dollars. I will not forget. I won't even go into the women's issues, okay? But the most important thing to know is if you really believe that you want a good Democrat, there's only one, and his name is Solomon Ortiz Jr. Let's go! Make certain that we go up and down the ballot for good people who really do embody honesty, integrity, and experience. But make certain that you know what those 3 words really mean and who really lives up to them. Thank you, guys.
All right, everybody. Now comes the best part. Go vote. Very easy. Right across the street. Be careful crossing the street. We want to thank the Huerta Law Firm.